endoplasmic reticulum is an important organelle in all eukaryotic cells and is absent in prokaryotic cells, which do not have any organelles. The existence of ER was discovered in 1945 by Porter, Claude, and Fulham after the introduction of electron microscopy. The base structure and composition of the ER is similar to the plasma membrane, though it is an extension of nuclear membrane. The ER membrane typically constitutes more than half of the total membrane of an average animal cell. The ER is a network of membrane enclosed tubules and sacs, also known as cisternae, that extends from the nuclear membrane throughout the cytoplasm. The entire ER is enclosed by a continuous membrane and is the largest organelle of most eukaryotic cells. There are two distinct types of ER that perform different functions within the cell: the rough ER and the smooth ER. Parts of the ER are covered with ribosomes and appear rough under electron microscope, which has led to their name rough ER or RER. However, other parts of ER are free of ribosomes and smooth in appearance and are called as smooth ER or SER. Rough and smooth ER differs not only in the appearance but also in functions. While the rough ER manufactures and transports proteins destined for membranes and secretion. The ribosomes on the surface of the rough ER insert the freshly produced proteins directly into the ER, which process and then passes them on the Golgi apparatus. On the other hand, the smooth ER has functions in several metabolic processes. It takes part in the synthesis of various lipids like for building membranes and steroids like steroid hormones, and also plays an important role in carbohydrate metabolism, detoxification of the cell metabolites, and calcium storage. The ER is organized into a net-like labyrinth of branching tubules and flattened sacs extending throughout the cytosol. The tubules and sacs are all thought to interconnect so that the ER membrane forms a continuous sheet enclosing a single internal space. This highly convoluted space is called the ER lumen or the ER cisternal space, and it often occupies more than 10% of the total cell volume. The ER membranes separates the ER lumen from the cytosol, and it mediates the selective transfer of molecules between these two compartments. The ER has a central role in lipid and protein biosynthesis. Its membrane is the site of production of all the transmembrane proteins and lipids for most of the cell's organelles, including the ER itself, the Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, endosomes, secretory vesicles, and the plasma membrane. The ER membrane makes a major contribution to mitochondrial and peroxisomal membranes by producing most of their lipids. In addition, almost all of the proteins that will be secreted to the cell's exterior and those destined for the ER lumen of the ER, Golgi apparatus or lysosomes are initially delivered to the ER lumen. The role of the ER in protein processing and sorting was first demonstrated by George Palade and his colleagues in 1960s. The ER captures selected proteins from the cytosol as they are being synthesized. These proteins are of two types: transmembrane proteins, which are only partly translocated across the ER membrane and become embedded in it, and water soluble proteins, which are fully translocated across the ER membrane and are released into the ER lumen. Some of the transmembrane proteins function in the ER, but many are destined to reside in the plasma membrane or the membrane of another organelle. The water soluble proteins are destined either for the lumen of an organelle or for secretion. These experiments defined a pathway taken by secreted proteins. The secreted pathway: rough ER to the Golgi to secretory vesicles to cell exterior. Further studies extended these results and demonstrated that this pathway is not restricted to proteins destined for secretion from the cell. Plasma membrane and lysosomal proteins also travel from the rough ER to Golgi and then to final destinations. The entrance of proteins into the ER thus represents a major branch point for the traffic of proteins within eukaryotic cells. Proteins destined for the secretion or incorporation into the ER, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes or plasma membrane are initially targeted to the ER. In mammalian cells, most proteins are transferred into the ER while they are being translated on membrane bound ribosomes. In contrast, proteins destined to remain in the cytosol or to be incorporated into the nucleus, mitochondria, chloroplast or peroxisomes are synthesized on free ribosomes and released into the cytosol when their translation is complete. Proteins that are transported by the ER and from there throughout the cell are marked with an address tag that are called a signal sequence. Gunter Blobel was awarded the 1999 Nobel Prize in the Physiology or Medicine for his discovery of these signal sequences in 1975. The N terminus of a growing polypeptide chain contains a few amino acids that work as an address tag, which are removed when the polypeptide reaches its destination. Proteins that are destined for the places outside the ER are pegged into transport vesicles and moved along the cytoskeleton towards their destination. Proteins can be translocated into the ER either during their synthesis on membrane bound ribosomes, that is called as co-translational translocation, or after their translation has been completed on free ribosomes in the cytosol, also called as post-translational translocation. In mammalian cells, most proteins enter the ER co-translationally, whereas both co-translational and post-translational pathways are used in yeast. The first step in the co-translational pathway is the association of ribosomes with the ER. Ribosomes are targeted for binding to the ER membrane by the amino acid sequence of the polypeptide chain being synthesized rather than by intrinsic properties of the ribosomes itself. Free and membrane bound ribosomes are functionally indistinguishable, and all protein synthesis initiates on ribosomes that are free in the cytosol. Ribosomes engaged in the synthesis of proteins that are destined for the secretion are then targeted to the ER by a signal sequence at the amino terminus of the growing polypeptide chain. These signal sequences are short stretches of hydrophobic amino acids that are cleaved from the polypeptide chain during its transfer into the ER lumen. David Sabatini and Gunter Blobel first proposed in 1971 that the signal for ribosome attachment to the ER was an amino acid sequence near the amino terminus of the growing polypeptide chain. This hypothesis was supported by the results of in vitro translation of mRNAs encoding secreted proteins such as immunoglobulins. If an mRNA encoding a secreted protein was translated on free ribosomes in vitro, it was found that the protein produced was slightly larger than the normal secreted protein. If microsomes were added to the system, however, the in vitro translated protein was incorporated into the microsomes and cleaved to the correct size. Signal recognition particle SRP directs ER signal sequences to a specific receptor in the rough ER membrane. The ER signal sequence is guided to the ER membrane by at least two components: a signal recognition particle which cycles between the ER membrane and the cytosol and binds to the signal sequence, and an SRP receptor in the ER membrane. The signal sequences span about 20 amino acids, including a stretch of hydrophobic residues, usually at the amino terminus of the polypeptide chain. As they emerge from the ribosome, signal sequences are recognized and bound by a SRP consisting of 6 polypeptides and a small cytoplasmic RNA, 7SL RNA. SRP binds the ribosome as well as the signal sequence, inhibiting further translation and targeting the entire complex, the SRP, ribosome and growing polypeptide chain to the rough ER by binding to the SRP receptor on the ER membrane. Binding to the receptor releases the SRP from both the ribosome and signal sequence of the growing polypeptide chain. The ribosome then bind to a protein translocation complex in the ER membrane, and the signal sequence is inserted into a membrane channel. In both yeast and mammalian cells, the translocation channels through the ER membrane are complexes of 3 transmembrane proteins called the SIC61 proteins. The yeast and mammalian SIC61 proteins are closely related to the plasma membrane proteins that translocate secreted polypeptides in the bacteria. Transfer of the ribosome from the SRP to the SIC61 complex allows translation to the rhizome, and the growing polypeptide chain is transferred directly into the SIC61 channel and across the ER membrane as translation proceeds. As translation proceeds, The signal sequence is cleaved by endogenous enzyme signal peptidase, and the polypeptide is released into the lumen of ER. Proteins destined for secretion or residence within the lumen of the ER Golgi apparatus or lysosomes are translocated across the ER membrane and released into the lumen of the ER. However, proteins destined for the incorporation into the plasma membrane or the membrane of the ER Golgi or lysosomes are initially inserted into the ER membrane instead of being released into the lumen. From the ER membrane, they proceed to their final destination along the same pathway as that of secretory proteins, that is ER to Golgi to plasma membrane or lysosomes. These proteins are transported along this pathway as membrane components, however, rather than as soluble proteins. Integral membrane proteins are embedded in the membrane by hydrophobic regions that span the phospholipid bilayer. The membrane spanning portions of these proteins are usually alpha helical regions consisting of 20 to 25 hydrophobic amino acids. The formation of an alpha helix maximizes hydrogen bonding between the peptide bonds and the hydrophobic amino acid side chains interact with the fatty acid tails of the phospholipids. However, different integral membrane proteins differ in how they are inserted. For example, whereas some integral membrane proteins span the membrane only once, others have multiple membrane spanning regions. In addition, some proteins are oriented in the membrane with their amino terminus on the cytosolic side. Others have their carboxy terminus exposed to the cytosol. The ER signal sequence is removed from most soluble proteins after translocation. In the cell organelles like chloroplasts and mitochondria, the signal sequence is cleaved from precursor proteins once it has crossed the membrane. Similarly, N-terminal ER signal sequence are removed by a signal peptidase on the luminal side of ER membrane. Proteins can also be encoded in the ER membrane by internal signal sequences that are not cleaved by signal peptidase. These internal signal sequences are recognized by the SRP and brought to the ER. Because they are not cleaved by signal peptidase, however, these signal sequences act as transmembrane alpha helices that exit the translocation channel and anchor proteins in the ER membrane. Importantly, internal signal sequences can be oriented so as to direct the translocation of either the amino or carboxy terminus on the polypeptide chain across the membrane. Therefore, depending on the orientation of the signal sequence, proteins inserted into the membrane by this mechanism can have either their amino or carboxy terminus exposed to the cytosol. The folding of polypeptide chains into their correct three-dimensional conformations, the assembly of polypeptides into multi-subunit proteins and the covalent modifications involved in protein processing is performed in the ER. For proteins that enter the secretory pathway, many of these events occur either during translocation across the ER membrane or within the ER lumen. One such processing event is the proteolytic cleavage of signal peptide as the polypeptide chain is translocated across the ER membrane. The ER is also the site of protein folding, assembly of multi-subunit proteins, disulfide bond formation, the initial stages of glycosylation, and the addition of glycolipid anchors to some plasma membrane proteins. Indeed, the primary role of luminal ER proteins is to catalyze the folding and assembly of newly translocated polypeptides. However, proteins are translocated across the ER membrane as unfolded polypeptide chains, while their translation is still in progress. These polypeptides therefore fold into their three-dimensional conformations within the ER, assisted by the molecular chaperones that facilitate the folding of polypeptide chains. For example, one of the major protein within the ER lumen is a member of the HSP70 family of chaperones called BIP. BIP is thought to bind to the unfolded polypeptide chain as it crosses the membrane and then mediates protein folding and the assembly of multi-subunit proteins within the ER. Correctly assembled proteins are released from BIP and are available for transport to the Golgi apparatus. However, abnormally folded or improperly assembled proteins remain bound to BIP and are consequently retained within the ER or degraded. The formation of disulfide bonds between the side chains of cysteine residues in an important aspect of protein folding and assembly within the ER. These bonds do not form in the cytosol, which is characterized by a reducing environment that maintains cysteine residues in their reduced SH state. In the ER, however, an oxidizing environment promotes disulfide SS bond formation, and disulfide bonds formed in the ER play important roles in the structure of secreted and cell surface proteins. Disulfide bond formation is facilitated by the enzyme protein disulfide isomerase, which is located in the ER lumen. Proteins are also glycosylated on the specific asparagine residues and linked glycosylation within the ER while their translation is still in process. However, oligosaccharide units consisting of 14 sugar residues are added to the acceptor asparagine residues of growing polypeptide chain as they are translocated into the ER. Improperly folded proteins are exported from the ER and degraded in the cytosol. Despite all the help from chaperones, many protein molecules translocated into the ER fail to achieve their properly folded or oligomeric state. Such proteins are exported from the ER back into the cytosol, where they are degraded. The retranslocation, also called dislocation, occurs via the same translocator, the 661 complex, through which the proteins entered the ER in the first place, although additional proteins help the translocator to function in reverse. Once the misfolded protein has reached the cytosol, its oligosaccharides are removed. Deglycosylation is catalyzed by an N-glycosanase, which removes the oligosaccharide chains by cleaving the amino bond between the carbonyl group and the amino group of original asparagine to which the oligosaccharide was attached. The deglycosylated polypeptide is rapidly ubiquitinated by ER-bound ubiquitin conjugation enzyme and is then fed into proteasomes, where it is degraded. Misfolded proteins in the ER activate an unfolded protein response. Cells carefully monitor the amount of misfolded proteins they contain in various compartments. An accumulation of misfolded proteins in the cytosol, for example, triggers a heat shock response which stimulates the transcription of genes encoding cytosolic chaperones that help to refold the proteins. Similarly, an accumulation of misfolded proteins in the ER triggers an unfolded protein response, which includes an increased transcription of genes encoding ER chaperones and enzymes involved in the ER protein degradation. The endoplasmic reticulum is a continuous membrane network in the cytosol, which encloses its internal compartment, the endoplasmic reticulum lumen. Several metabolic pathways are compartmentalized within the ER lumen. For example, hydrolysis of glucose 6-phosphate, glucuronidation of endogenobiotix, post-translational modification of proteins, including redox reactions required for oxidative folding, oxidoreduction of steroid hormones, synthesis of ascorbate. Therefore, enzyme activities of these pathways depend on the spatial luminal microenvironment, on access to substrates and on release of products. Beside the well known functions of the endoplasmic reticulum such as calcium signaling and the synthesis of secretory proteins, recent findings underlined the importance of the intraluminal redox biochemistry and the role of membrane transporters. The local synthesis and the membrane transport of redox active compounds, pro and antioxidants seem to be important not only in the disulfide bond formation, but also in the generation of intracellular proliferative apoptotic signaling.